Hello. Okay, there we are. Yeah, everything looking good for me as well. Hey, Chidorin. Also, look, we left out a line from your samely named character. Hey there. Alright, so we were after the show, right? Did you notice someone at the back of the underground theater? What is this about? I'm wide awake, still high on the excitement of that performance, when Takasaki's words reach my ears. I give up on trying to get to sleep and turn to face the bed next to mine.
やっぱりまだ起きていたのね。
Aww. Cute. Hey, Yurizuri. How are you? Cute.
真夏だぞ。寝苦しいんだよ。
Oh yeah. I make out like my agitation is due to the heat.
で、人影だって？ええ、監修の奥の車がついていた小さな部屋があったでしょ？あそこに人影があったのよ。バスキア教諭だろう。朗読している時姿が見えなかったろうが。そうなのかしら。でも2つ人影があったのよね。
I'm astonished that she was able to notice something like that while delivering such a transformative performance. It took me everything I had to act the part of Rapunzel, of Suo Shirahane.
それで、まだ感想を聞いていないんだけど。感想？特等席で最高の演技を見たいと言っていたでしょ？
Ooh. So I did. At the time, I'd felt like being honest with her. Whereas now,
いや、今だからこそ言えるのか。
with the lights off, the dimness of the room envelops me, but my eyes are well enough accustomed to it. At this moment, with the border between myself and the world blurred, I feel like I can actually speak my mind freely.
さすがプロだって思ったよ。自慢していい。そう。あなたもなかなかだったわ。ちゃんと心情を監修に伝えようとしていた。白羽を思って演じたっていうのは野暮天だろうな。
I don't think so, if you found the right words to say it and not, leave misunderstandings behind, but I guess she won't do it.
ねえ、どうして台本を見つけようってなった時、あれほどムキになったの？だからお前の演技が。それだけじゃないでしょ？
I hesitate. I think back to how I became aware of Shirahane's feelings, and how, when I read the newly revised script, I was reminded of my own family with whom I'm still on fairly bad terms. The main theme of Rapunzel.
家族のつまらない確執さ。ラプンツェルの台本を読んで、つい昔を思った。家族。
There's a strange weight to that word, a kind of sorrow. I peer through the dark at my Amitia partner's face.
家族と別れるのは辛いわよね。いや、そんなことはない。嘘。本当さ、今はとても晴れ晴れとしてるよ。家にいた時より、ここ数ヶ月の学院での生活の方がずっといい。
That doesn't make it automatically easy.
本当？
I smile at her skeptical tone of voice, although she probably can't see it.
私はずっと家族に縛られていたんだ。向こうもだけどね。やっと一人になれた。あなたは強いのね。
She's a bit tsuntsun, I guess. I'm not. There's something in that script that reminded me of Shirahane, of my family. I can't abandon that. The ideal ending we wanted. Shirahane decided to struggle forward. I decided not to look back.
そろそろ寝よう。明日も早い。ええ。
A silence descends through the gloom. I close my eyes, attempting to shake off these girly emotions. How dare you have girly emotions, Eric? Ah, cute.
おやすみ、エリカ。
My Amitia partner softly whispers goodnight. Yeah. Very cute.
グリム童話に歌う骨と呼ばれる一編がある。危険なイノシシを退治した者は王女を嫁にやろうというお触れに、貧しい兄弟はイノシシ退治を勝手で、弟はとある出会いから黒い杖を手に入れ、不思議な杖でイノシシを退治してしまう。弟は喜び勇み、イノシシを抱え城へ向かうが、途中で泥酔した兄と会い、イノシシを仕留めたことを知った兄は、手柄を横取りするために弟を殺してしまった。弟の亡骸を橋のたもとに埋め、城へと向かい、イノシシを退治した褒美として王女と結婚する。兄は何不自由なく暮らしていた。しかし羊飼いが橋のたもとで亡き弟の骨を見つけ、笛を作ると、笛は吹いてもいないのに歌を歌い出す。あなたが吹く笛は私の骨。兄に殺されて埋められてしまった。兄は王女と結婚したかったから。と。羊飼いが王様へ骨の笛を届け、真実を知った王様に兄は処刑され、弟は年頃に葬られ、お話は終わる。この話を読んだ折に感じたのは、完全懲悪としての分かりやすい感想でなく、橋のたもとでさえずった骨の笛のことだった。さえずっても信じてもらえなかったとしたら、ずっと弟の無念は残り、歌はどこへ消え失せてしまったのだろうか、と。これから始まる物語は、歌を歌うことを忘れてしまった哀れな少女たちのお話。
What a creepy story, what the heck? I know these fairy tales have some sort of element of creepiness to them in their original form, but that was a little bit more than usual. I had never heard of it before. Yikes. Hey Mot-chan, how's it going? It's difficult to describe a smell in words. Oh no, is it about food again? With sight, you can say exactly what you've seen. With taste, you can talk in terms of sweetness and bitterness. You don't need anything more than a few simple words to convey the sensation. But when it comes to smells, you're fundamentally limited to similes. The scent of summer, the smell after it's rained, the antiseptic smell of a hospital corridor. We describe scents figuratively as things they are not. And in this case, I can't really describe it as anything but the smell of sweat. I mean, yeah, that... I think that's fair. Why is that so hard to describe? According to the calendar, we've passed what is traditionally the first day of fall, but the August sun is still shining down mercilessly into the ballet room. It's a real sauna, yeah. Yeah, I feel that. Having finished their ballet lesson, my classmates are now wiping away their perspiration with towels. But as soon as they've wiped down their skin, more beads of sweat issue forth. I feel like I'm overheating myself despite not having done any exercise. I bring my nose towards my clavicle and sniff. I'm relieved to find that I don't smell any worse than regular sweat, although I mutter to myself all the same about never being fully aware of your own body odor. I can't describe the ballet room as smelling of anything but sweat, though there is an exception to that. My métier partner is drenched in sweat after her intense practice. Takasaki snatches the towel I'm holding and wipes her neck and face. Her proximity means that the smell of her sweat, no, that scent of peaches particular to Takasaki, tickles my nostrils.
ありがとう。汗ですらかぐわしいってか。女として負けてる気がするな。
Yeah. She hands me the towel back to me. She hands the towel back to me, sorry. For some reason, it gets me down to find that it smells even more like peaches. Let's smell Chidorin. Peaches. Cute. Yeah, absolutely, in a room like that, for sure. That's not healthy. I'm really afraid that some of them might pass out from the exhaustion and the heat. It's crazy. The Sasaki sisters scurry over and I hand the younger one the water bottle I have with me to ensure I don't get dehydrated. Actually, everyone is supposed to have their own. The younger sister looks at the other reproachfully as she gulps down my water, but when the older one asks me for the towel, she grabs it from me before I even have time to voice my assent. Sure.
なんだ？焼肉の匂いでもするのか？お昼前だからってそんなにお腹空いてないよ。これ桃の匂いがする。香水をつけとくなんておしゃれだね、エリカちゃん。前も言ったが、名前呼びはやめろ。でも高崎ちゃんは呼んでるじゃない。
So she does. Ever since the recitation, she's dropped calling me you. And started calling me Erika without any honorifics. Wow, we evolved from you to Erika. Yeah, I guess. But I don't know. With how the temperatures, I don't know much about Japan, okay, but given the way the temperatures are here, I feel like it would be dangerous, to say the least, to force people to work out together in such a room in full blast of the summer heat with nothing to cool them down. It's, yeah. Yikes. I've told her time and again to cut it out, but I'm wasting my breath. She seems to have no intention of going back to how she called me before. And so I've had no choice but to accept it, however, reluctantly. あなたもエリカと呼びたいの？そうだよ。だって仲良しだって気がするしね。Takasaki responds with a sort of sigh. I can't tell if she gets it or not.
そういえば、明日から授業が増えるらしいな。
Wary of where this conversation is headed, I changed the subject.
英語と第二外国語でしたね。ごちそうさまでした。全部飲みやがったな。しかし礼法ね。ま、花嫁修行の場としてこの学院に入学させる親も多いって言うから仕方ないのかもな。礼法か。正直自信ないんだよね。
It does not seem to be something very Ichigo-like.
確かにダメそうだよな。
Yeah.
そういうエリカちゃんだって苦手そうじゃん。
Mission failed successfully. Yes, pretty much.
八重垣だ。確かに和式での作法とか言われても正座もろくにできないしな。
I slap my legs with the grin. Oh, the jokes. Ah, sorry, what? Wait, I didn't mean to do that. What? just wanted to move to the next line, thank
こ
you.
こでは西洋式の礼法でしょ。
Takasaki addresses this to the Sasakis who are looking troubled.
このクラスでは花火師さんが得意そうね。
I agree, and we all turn to stare at the president, who's now wiping herself down and chatting with Shirahane. She notices our gazes.
何を悪巧みしているの？
She comes over with a smile, bringing Shirahane along too.
新しく増える授業のことを話してたんだ。憂鬱だよ。そうなの？私は楽しみだけどな。語学も礼儀作法もどちらもりっちゃんさんは得意そうですしね。語学？何を言って。佐々木さんたちは新しく増える礼法と第二外国語の授業のことを言っているのよ。りっかさんは選択授業のことを言っているのよね。
Wait, even more? Or what? Okay, I'm confused. Right, we're also meant to pick another elective class. At the academy, all physical education takes the form of ballet. We're also required to take etiquette classes and a second language, but...
ガーデニングと弦楽器、どちらかを選ぶというものだったわよね。そうだ。どっちか選べとか横暴だよな。
It's not the kind of thing I want the luxury of choosing. Yeah, okay. If you're given a choice, you feel like you're exercising your freedom. But being forced to choose between two things and it leaves as bitter a taste as having the... Huh? I don't understand the sentence. It leaves as bitter a taste as having the choice made for you anyway. Right.
そう？どちらも初めての経験ができて楽しみだわ。八重垣さんはどちらを専攻しようと思っているの？
If I take up an instrument, I could get Takasaki to teach me. Ooh, okay. That would be nice. If I choose gardening, Shirahan is the one with the green fingers, right? Okay, so you would be the first one? Yes, it's the first one. If I'm taking this seriously, then it will probably be the music class I choose. Gardening would be difficult with my legs.
ま、弦楽器かな。それに音楽系なら見てが得意そうだし、手取り足取り教えてもらえそうだ。
Spoon feed, okay.
私に教えてもらいたいの？まあ、そうだが。
I'm caught off guard. I'd expected her to come back with a retort about me not being a baby.
エリカがそう言うなら、教えてあげなくもないわよ。なんか、お前丸くなったな。バカ。
Her cheeks flush and she snatches the towel from my hands to hide her face. I glance over at Shirahane, seeking confirmation that I haven't said anything peculiar, and find her looking back at me warmly like a mother might a child.
なんだってんだ。
I scrub a hand through my bangs, then slap the elder of the Sasakis, who's smirking at me. Square on the bottom. Erika.
これって仲良くなってきた証拠なのかね。私としてはそう思います。
While regarding the whispering twins out of the corner of my eye, I gaze across at my Amitia partner.
合わせた方がやりやすいんだろうが。
I'm surprised to find myself thinking so nonchalantly about how to integrate my lifestyle with my Amitia partners. Besties, yeah. Despite the fact that I'd drawn a clear line between the two of us. I let out a small sigh as I regard both my bookworm buddy and my Amitia partner. Both ended up crossing that line without my being aware of it. And so, we begin our etiquette lessons. Oh, wow.
ナプキンを膝に置くときにもタイミングがあります。
There's a proper timing, eh? Shirahane passes, but when the elder sister Sasaki triumphantly copies her, She's stopped with a sharp rebuke.
どこが
これから私がディナーを共にする主としますと言いましたね。ナプキンを膝の上に乗せるのはオーダーが済んだ後。
Ichigo looks relieved, but Sister Basket continues with an uncharacteristically stern look.
招待客は主がナプキンを広げてから後に広げなくてはなりません。佐々木さんは私を待たずに広げました。
Hey? Oh my god, how dare you? What an insult. What the fuck?
はい。
Everyone listens intently to her guidance, which is far stricter than we'd expected.
聖書をそらんじる時よりも真剣だな。こういうバスキア教諭は珍しい。
Surprised by this new side to her, I listened to her explanation on how to spread out the napkin. Because that needs an explanation. Okay. Well, I don't mind getting told off. I don't like being thought of as dumb.
途中退席をしたい時にはナプキンの真ん中を持ち三角形にして椅子の上に置きます。こうすることで食事中だと給仕に知らせる合図になるのです。
ダリア先生、そもそも食事中は途中退席をしてはならないと聞きましたが。
Yeah, you should just sit there, completely glued to the seat, even if you have like a bathroom emergency or something. No, you just gotta grin and bear it. あいあいあい。
それはフランス料理の時ですね。途中退席はマナー違反です。席を立つことができるのはデザート後のお茶の時間だけです。
Okay. The class nods. It's interesting how much etiquette differs country by country.
ご飯をいただくときはフォークの背にご飯を乗せるのよね。
Put the food on the back of the fork? What?
あれはイギリス式のマナーで、フォークの腹を絶対に上に向けないという作法から、結果的に背に乗せざるを得ないってだけなんだぜ。
Okay.
そうなの？パスタの食べ方も作法は様々だしな。イタリアじゃスプーンの助けを借りて食べると子供だとからかわれるしさ。私たちはまだ子供じゃない。そういうことを言っているんじゃないんだよ。
A cool voice interrupts my quarrel with Takasaki.
詳しいようですし、次は八重垣さんにやってもらおうかしら。
いや、できれば席順通りで。はい。
I love that. Hi? What do you mean? I told you to do something. You're gonna do it. Oh my god. Bowing to unvoiced pressure, I move my wheelchair forward, giving my métier partner, who's acting like she had no part in this, a prod in the side as I pass by. Oh gosh.
サウスパークのケニーみたい。
何です？
Muttering to myself about my crappy luck, I give the dull-eyed elder Sasaki's sister a pat on the shoulder as I take her place at the table. Next up is our new language class.
イタリア語かよ。
I'd heard that Italian was growing more prevalent in the Vatican in place of the official Latin, but although this is a Christian school, I think I'd rather have had a choice. There must be other languages people want to learn, like German for those aiming to become doctors, or French for those who fancy themselves artists.
さあ、自己紹介文は書けたかしら？
Wait, isn't this like the first class of a new language? They have to write self-introductions already? Since all we need to do is apply what's written in the teaching materials, everyone should have managed, but...
よりによって高崎かよ。
Takasaki enjoys our English lessons, but she's terrible at languages. When she's picked to go first, I instinctively find myself wanting to say a prayer for her. Oh no.
ミキヤーも。
She gives her name falteringly. When she's managed it, her expression changes to one of pride.
では、あなたの生まれはどこでしょうか?
The next question follows hot on the trail of the first, and she freezes up. I guess the introduction she prepared didn't mention anything about her background. As the silence lengthens, she brings her face closer to the textbook, then finally finds her voice again. But her pronunciation of sono di, meaning I am from, comes out sounding like salty. Our classmates snicker. However, the mention of salt calls to mind corn on the cob with the generous sprinkling of salt to bring out the corn's rich sweetness. My stomach gurgles. I have corn in the fridge. I intend to make it not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow, because it's a day off. I will have corn. Yes. Also, we've had watermelon as well. So, my... my cravings from last week are on the way of being crossed off the list. Yes. Ay. Rubbing my stomach, I look over at one of the Sasakis to cast the blame on her. She flushes red and shakes her head vigorously, and I wait longingly for lunch. Hey, food. I scarf down my long-awaited lunch. A keema curry packed with fresh summer vegetables. Oh, I don't know what that is. During the summer months, I crave cool, refreshing food, but curry is the one exception. It's the only food I can always eat, even if I have no appetite. The main ingredient in keema curry is minced meat. Ah, interesting. But this version, using lots of eggplant, is probably our own chef's special. It has just a drop of oyster sauce, hidden beneath the garlic and ginger, that adds a subtle sense of seasoning. That sounds amazing. Okay. Food. Yes, sorry, Bear. Perhaps they hadn't wanted to throw in too many flavors. An egg would add a nice mild note, but might also overwhelm the rest of the dish. I scoop up a spoonful of the curry sauce, rich with eggplant and tomato, and gulp it down with some white rice. The blissful taste again spreads through my mouth. The combination of spices alongside the tartness of the tomato is exquisite. Takasaki is scribbling something in her notebook, a plate of salad in front of her as usual. I crane my neck to take a peek. She looks unusually tired. After she's finished writing, she tosses the notebook onto her desk. I say to her, I'm sorry, are we all just talking about their first lesson into a new, completely unknown language? Why is there so much pressure? What the heck? I would say this is the expected outcome. You won't know how to perfectly pronounce something in a language you're just starting to learn. What? She nibbles at her salad uninterestedly, apparently lacking the will to retort back. It's like the lettuce itself is the source of her suffering. She really has it in for Italy, to put it kindly. Yes, that famously difficult Italian pronunciation. I don't know, I would expect that for Japanese people, English would be more difficult to pronounce than Italian. But maybe I'm wrong. I take another bite of curry as I mull it over. I am right? Okay. Because, I mean, there is some commonality between Romanian and Italian. And I felt when I was first reading pronunciation rules in Japanese, they didn't feel that difficult for me to pronounce through the perspective of Latin that I'm familiar with. And whenever I would watch videos of English speakers trying to explain how to pronounce things in Japanese, it felt like so roundabout. Like, it was very difficult for them to find proper examples of sounds in English that are close to the sounds in Japanese. So, yeah, to me it feels like it's English is further away than any Latin language, and especially Italian. Like, French, for example, might be more difficult than Italian for Japanese people. But anyway. This is no good. Eating your meal with a head full of worries turns it into little more than a refueling. It's borderline sacrilege to scarf down your meals in the odd spare moment while you're distracted by other things. It turns good food into mere fuel and makes the process of eating very boring. I actually agree with that. You should enjoy your meals. I put down my spoon and announced my decision. As usual, V and anime are clueless about languages. Well, I don't know if they're necessarily clueless, but... Yeah. They could have made Italian to be difficult from a different perspective, not that one, but anyway, it's fine. Takasaki looks at me curiously. I answer. I gesture towards Sister Basket, who's going on with her explanation of the violin, her index finger pressed to her lip. Takasaki is nodding along knowledgeably. Yeah, ever the contrarian. I decided on music rather than gardening for my elective. Everyone else, Prez the Sasaki's my bookworm buddy, has chosen gardening. Although they've repeatedly asked me to join them, it's human nature to resist harder the stronger you're pulled in one direction. I decided to take the music class instead alongside my Amitia partner, and now here I am learning the violin from Sister Basket. I'd elicited that nugget of information from her myself. Even though it was no more than 2 months ago, it feels like an age. I'm absorbed in my thoughts when... I'm suddenly called upon. I shake my head. Takasaki whispers to me that it's called a chin rest, and although I wonder if perhaps she's playing a trick, I repeat it. Without turning my gaze away from Sister Basket as she continues in her lecture, I convey my gratitude to my Amitia partner who's sitting beside me. Given my personality, I'm used to being scolded, but I don't like to make people sad. Aww.
でもバイオリンもそうだけれど、譜面も読めないのでしょ？
そうだがどうした？
She gives me a sidelong glance with her narrow almond eyes.
音楽に全く興味がなかったのね。
Ouch. I respond by saying, well, she was forced into this, right? How could she have known? How could she have, like, had the foresight to... Oh, wait, I need to learn how to read music before I pick this elective several years down the line. I'd better hurry. What? Okay. I respond by saying, I'm really not. I am a bit, but... I guess, yeah, it's the second one. We gotta be a little bit vulnerable, I suppose.
少しはあるっちゃあるが。
そうなの？
声が大きい。抑えろ。
She nods and I steal a glance at Sister Basket, who's explaining that the strings are called G, D, A, and E, starting from the one that produces the lowest sound.
このゲーセン、一番太い弦ですね。このゲーセンだけで弾かれる曲、ゲーセン上のアリアは有名ですね。
As I half listened to her explanation, to her explaining the names of the strings, alongside brief anecdotes of this sort, I asked Takasaki whether there's any musical pastime that doesn't require reading sheet music. She whispers,
もしかして歌を歌うのが好きとか？
I snort to cover my discomposures, making it fairly obvious that I don't. Takasaki, however, continues staring fixedly at my lips. She places a finger on my chin and tips my head up as though she's getting ready to kiss me.
授業中だぞ。
こうしてやや上を向いて歌うと喉の開きが良くなるの。
は？
今度やってみるといいわ。
だから勘違いだと言っただろ。
I curtly shake off her hand and induce a fake coughing attack to cover my blush and calm myself down. Class continues until... Oh no. Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
ようやく構えるところまで来たはいいが。
I speak dejectedly, bow in hand, and after trying to play a note. Oh.
そもそも音が全然出ないってのはどうなんだ？
Aware I must be looking a bit stiff, I force my mouth into a frown and complain resentfully. Mouths can frown? I guess you could call it that. Takasaki examines the bow intently.
これは新品の弓なのね。松ヤニを塗ってないのだから、いくら弾いても音は出ないわよ。
私のセンスのなさからじゃないのか。
使い込んでいるものでも30分弾くごとに 2,3 回こすってつけるのよ。私のを使ってみなさい。
She goes and gets her own bow, then hands it over to me.
さあ、もう一度。
お前が最初にやってもいいんだぞ。
私は基本は押さえているわ。さあ。
I do as she says and put the violin into position again, this time with Takasaki's bow in hand. Kotomi flashbacks. Oh, oh yes, you're absolutely right. Oh, cuteness.
そう、顎と鎖骨で挟み込むように、まっすぐ前を見ながら、そのまま。
結構この体勢つらいんだが。
まずは正しいフォームを覚えなければならないの。ゴルフや野球でもそうでしょ？
お前に私の愛するベースボールで説教を受けるとは思わなかったよ。
I try making a joke, but Takasaki takes no notice. She regards me closely.
片当てなしでも大丈夫そうね。
さっき言っていたやつか。なくても平気なのか？
単に体型として必要かどうかなのよ。必ず必要というわけではないわ。片当てなしの方が鎖骨に響いていいという人もいるし。
Wow, through the collarbone. That has to be something advanced, right?
隠された意外な才能ってやつかね。
今の構えを覚えておけばいい。その構えを体に染み込ませれば、手を離しても顎と肩で挟んでいるからバイオリンは落ちないわ。
I heard that violins aren't exactly cheap, and though I nod in response, I make no move to actually let go of it.
ちょっと
My posture must have slipped as my mind wandered onto other things, and Takasaki leans forward and takes my hand in hers.
おい、
This is cute. Cute.
下がっているわ。きちんと顎とここ。
やめろ。変なところに触るな。
Where could she possibly be touching you? Come on.
何を言っているの？鎖骨に当てて挟むようにして。
Even though I know she's just instructing me, the touch of her fingers against my neck makes me feel a little strange. With her so close to me, I can feel the heat of her body and smell the scent of peaches coming from her.
胸も迫ってきてるしな。
I see. I try my best not to think about it, but now that I have, I can't stop my gaze from trailing down to her top quality assets. Ay ay ay. I feel a mix of envy and a desire to touch them.
ちょっと話聞いている？
No, she's definitely not. She's daydreaming about your boobies. I cough, trying to get my wandering mind back on track and readjust my posture. Ay ay ay. A little strange, a little queer, perhaps, Erika.
なんで顎と肩でバイオリンを挟まなきゃならないんだ。別に弾くだけならどんな姿勢でも構わないんじゃないの？
この姿勢、構えで重要なのは左手のネック。わかるわね？ネックを自在に移動させ、小指まで動かして弦を押さえないといけないの。つまり左手の自由度が演奏の要となるから、その姿勢でなければならないのよ。
I nod. I'd asked the question offhandedly. I'm impressed there's actually a meaning behind it.
顎を下げない。
She immediately points it out when I start to slip.
首をかしげすぎてもバイオリンの響きを邪魔してしまう。きちんと顎と鎖骨の2つの視点だけで押さえるのを覚えて。
She's a lost cause. I think she's trying though.
わかったよ。
I mean, I think anyone can understand it theoretically, but executing it is gonna come weirdly and clumsily to absolutely anyone who's first trying it, because you have no sense of it, your muscles have no memory of it, your body doesn't know what it's trying to do because it's never done it. So, yeah. I kind of want to stick my tongue out at her, but somehow I'm not really annoyed. Just a little while back, I wouldn't have been able to stand being taught by her this way.
そんなに悪いやつじゃないしな。
何？
いや、すぐに試験だってさ。無茶言うよな。
ゴセック作曲のガボットでしょ？完璧に弾けってわけでなし。きちんと学べば大丈夫よ。
そもそも曲名すら聞いたことないって話だぜ。
I feel like I've heard about it in some other anime sometime a long while ago. It sounds familiar.
バイオリンでは有名な曲だから耳にしたことがあると思うわ。
I tell her that it's unlikely, but then I remember the case of Hedwig's theme and reconsider.
互いに互いのバイオリンの持ち方を確認し合いましたか？それでは次は実際に音を出してみましょう。
Sister Basket's voice rings out. I adjust my grip on the bow, feeling a little more optimistic that I'll actually manage it this time. Okay. We don't get to hear. Okay, we get a transition. Fine, fine. I'm beginning to doze off, probably worn out from all of the new classes, when the hands washing my legs come to a stop, and worried that something's wrong, I open my eyes.
ごめんなさいね。つい考え事をしてしまって。
I can't exactly complain considering that I was falling asleep while she was hard at work bathing me.
そういえば、高崎が風呂の介助もしてやろうかとか言っていたな。
I'd rejected the idea out of embarrassment at being seen naked by a classmate, but leaving it in the hands of the already busy Sister Basket is an issue in its own right. Oh? We both end up speaking at the same time, and I feel suddenly self-conscious. Before I can open my mouth again, Sister Basket carries on, her brow furrowed. She prefaces her remarks by saying that she doesn't like to feel like she's tattling.
白羽さんから何か聞いていないかしら
Oh? She asks me. I tilt my head at the vague phrasing and she continues with a little sigh.
白羽さんから高坂さんのことを聞かれたの
高坂のことですか？
ええ八重垣さんは白羽さんと仲が良いでしょ
I'm the one who encouraged her to find out the reason Kosaka left the academy, so I don't know anything. It's not strange that she should be asking. I guess the second one? Yeah, the second one.
別に尋ねてもおかしくないでしょ。え？あれだけ仲が良かったんだ。急に辞めたら理由を知りたくなるのは当然だと思いますけどね。
Sister Basket murmurs her agreement, her eyes downturned. I panic slightly, realizing that I may have been colder than I intended.
あ、いや、バスキア教諭が悪いって話ではないです。ただ、尋ねるのは当たり前だと。
そうね。でも、なぜ今なのかしら
Her words give me a start. I wonder how she'd react if she found out I was the instigator. Perhaps my uncertainty shows as Sister Basket apologizes, then resumes washing me.
こんなこと生徒に打ち明けるなんていけないわよね。八重垣さんとは一番お話ししやすいから。
そうなんですか。委員長とかの方が。
生徒を比べてしまうなんてダメね。聞かなかったことにして。
She beams at me, and I feel a painful clenching in my chest.
なんだってんだ。
Special. I let out a long, deep breath to expel the heat from my chest, chiding myself for being happy to be told something like that.
こんなことを頼むのはおかしいかもしれないけれど。
I encourage her to go on, unable to resist the earnest glimmer in her eyes.
白羽さんのこと少し気にかけておいてもらえないかしら
I'm the one who encouraged her to look into the incident with Kosaka so that she could move on.
注意してみますよ。
Still, I accept Sister Basket's request. It will be a good opportunity for me to check on her progress anyway.
礼法というものは恥をかくのを防ぐために覚えるのではありません。相手に対して敬意を払えているかどうかなのです。
She admonishes the elder Sasaki's sister, who has messed up countless times now, then addresses the rest of us, all listening nervously.
このような堅苦しい作法などどうでもよいと考えているのかもしれません。ですが、礼儀をわきまえることにより、あなた方、ひいてはご家族の名誉を守ることになるのです。
Yeah. When your own and your family's honor hinges on how to fold and use a napkin. Hearing her hold forth on the family does little to sway me, but when it comes to the rest of my classmates, it seems to have struck a particular nerve with Ichiko, who has been making more mistakes than anyone else. She's shrunk in on herself and is listening respectfully to the lecture. Yeah, see, but because she's like this, she's gonna keep making mistakes unless you help her get a bit out of her own head. Admonishing someone who's struggling with something is not going to help them. I think on the contrary, it's gonna undermine their self-confidence more and more. But what do I know? I wouldn't find myself taking etiquette lessons, not in a million years. No thank you.
ではもう一度初めから。 席に着くところから始めますよ。
Ichigo is clearly very nervous about being called upon again.
助け舟の一つも出してやるかね。
Nah, it's none of my concern. It wouldn't be a bad idea to put her in my debt. I think we should help her, but not necessarily put her in our debt. Yeah, this is the option. Maybe this is just something we tell ourselves to make it sound cooler, but in actuality, underneath the surface, we just want to be a good friend. Etiquette classes nonsense. I don't know about classes, but it just feels like much ado about nothing, to be honest. Deciding that it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to have Ichigo in my debt, I raised my hand.
どうしました八重垣さん。
手順を見て大体覚えたと思うので、一度直にやってみて確かめたいのですが。
Sister Basket narrows her golden eyes and glances at Ichigo, who has already been picked to demonstrate. Then,
そうですね。では席に着くところから始めてください。
it seems the novelty of me offering to take part in something has won out. Ichigo returns to her seat and smiles weakly, as though she's just finished training for a marathon. Oh, poor Ichigo. I want to pet her. I'm imagining Ichigo shrinking into herself like a baby turtle. Oh, that's a perfect image.
ありがとう八重垣ちゃん。
こいつは貸しだからな。
That voice! Oh, poor Ichigo. She's having the worst of times. She touches my side out of view of Sister Basket. I guess it's her way of showing affection.
座るときは腰を深くかけ、食卓との間を握り拳一つ程度開けるのが適当。
Moving my chair forward, I mentally rehearse the process. It's not just Ichigo Sasaki who's struggling.
発音ですが、さしすせそのしは SI ではなく
Okay,
と発音してください。
what the heck is happening? I didn't do anything there. I don't think so. Yeah, the line isn't even here. The novel just skipped showing it in text, but we heard the voice? What? Okay. Ah, yeah, no. So, like, it was supposed to be shown here, because this is Dahlia's name over here, but... Okay, bugs. Background noise. Okay, Sister Basket points to her own mouth as she forms the sound.
はい。
It's a sound effect. Ah, okay. But this is very weird. The bug is the little Dahlia name. Okay, that's what confused me. That confused me immensely. Okay, thank you. Although her expression doesn't look to have changed, as someone who spends a huge amount of time with her, I can tell just how worn out she is. Takasaki is the one who announced that she only takes up hobbies that are of benefit to her. She won't give in and quit just because languages aren't her forte. She's tackling it head on despite being bad at it. That's why it's so draining for her. Oh, bless her.
苦手なものは苦手だって避ければいいのによ。
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know about this take either, because there are some things in life that might feel like you're not cut out for them. But maybe if you actually gave them a try and you pushed through the initial discomfort and the struggle, you might come to see that actually you can do those too, and they could be very useful for you in life. You know? Just because something seems daunting, concluding from the beginning that you should avoid it, I don't know if that's right either. But yeah, it's praiseworthy that Chidori is pushing through it with so much determination, even though it's taking a toll on her. Very nice.
では先ほど教えました子音が2つ重なる即音便の例を高崎さん。
それは確か。
Takasaki hesitates, her irritated gaze wandering, and the surrounding students shrink back. Of course, all she's really doing is narrowing her eyes in thought.
わかりません。
Her distress is written all over her face. Oh.
珍しいわね。
I think saying that you don't know is very, maybe brave is not actually the right word, but it's a really hard thing to do, right? So admitting that, hey, I'm sorry, I really don't know this part, it shows a lot of humility, and I think it's not necessarily a thing to be looked down upon. On the contrary, especially in the context of a class where you're expected to know when the teacher calls on you and stuff. I think it should be praiseworthy to say you don't know, especially when you say that to the teacher, and the reaction should be that, oh, okay, then let's go over this one more time. And I hope Dahlia did that because I've had too many teachers in my life who would instantly punish you for that, which I think is incredibly narrow-minded and unhelpful overall. But yeah. Right, a rare sight. The president voices her surprise.
そう言われるのは委員長で3度目だよ。
She tilts her head at me and continues eating her soy sauce-flavored pasta. I hadn't had the heart to order my exhausted amitié partner to bring me lunch straight after our language class, so I've come along with her to the dining hall. Aw, that's nice.
なんだか随分と疲れているみたいだけど、エリカの例え癖で言うなら、今の私はプルトニウムを積んでいないデロリアンだってこと。
Oh, that's a cool comparison. All right. Rika has no idea what it is. Dining etiquette is dumb, but I also personally know way too many people who wouldn't become any worse for learning the most basic eating manners, because the way they eat is... Oh, okay, no. So I'm definitely talking about this kind of like very fanciful type of dining etiquette, not basic manners. Basic manners are something anyone should have. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, no, I'm just talking about this whole... You should put the napkin in your lap, but you're not allowed to unfold it until the host unfolds theirs. You know, that kind of like, what's the point of it type of rule, you know? But yeah. I interpret for her. This buttery soy sauce pasta is certainly delicious, but... Aww. I grumble to myself.
第二外国語よね。私も正直あまり得意じゃないのよね。
珍しいな。委員長が勉強関連も苦手だっていうの初めて聞いたぜ。
語学ってセンスが問われる気がするのよね。英語はまだなんとかなるんだけど。私も。
Takasaki nods her agreement, and I find myself wanting to ask how much better her English classes are actually going.
そうだわ。八重垣さん、語学が堪能みたいだし、私と高崎さんへ教えるっていうのはどうかしら。
Ooh.
いいことを思いついた的に言われてもな。ま。
I continue watching Takasaki listlessly nibble at her salad.
教えるのは構わない。こいつには弦楽器の授業で世話になっているからな。
いいの？
Takasaki looks surprised.
構わないよ。放課後、暇な時にでも相手してやるよ。
そう。ありがとう。
So that's just for Chidori and not for Rika as well? My Mitya partner looks down and then takes another forkful of salad. I'm a little bewildered by her reaction. It feels weird having her respond so meekly.
いいな。ねえ、八重垣さん、私も。
She didn't say she would tutor you too, did she?
委員長は白羽に教わればいいだろ。
I bluntly turned her down. Aye. Speaking of Shirahane, since Sister Basket requested it of me, I've decided I should try and keep an eye on her. However,
この時間から外出か。
since she didn't have cooking club today, Shirahane returned to the dorms early. Other club activities are finishing up now, and it's really no time to be going out again, and yet, there she is.
これでトイレってだけなら笑えるだけだが。
It doesn't look like this is something to just laugh off. Shirahane heads straight out of the dormitory building. Then along the path through the woods that leads to the school.
こりゃ、薬が効きすぎたのかね。
As I watch Shirahane recede down the path, I think back to how I'd told her to investigate Kosaka's disappearance. What reason could my timid bookworm buddy possibly have for heading across to the school building in the twilight hours of the day? Is this the new mystery? Is this what we're gonna have to decipher? And that timidity of hers seems to confer heightened powers of perception, too. She stops still for a moment, and I sense her scanning her surroundings carefully. After a while, she finally gives up, and her footsteps move off into the distance. We'll have to decipher Suohi.
つけていくのは無理か。
One such incident might be brushed off as her imagination playing tricks on her, but I doubt she'd ignore a second. If I can't follow her, then I could cut around in front. I wait until the following day, around the same time that thought occurred to me. I can't help but smile upon hearing the sound I've become accustomed to waking up to in the morning. However,
今は相手をしてる暇はないな。
I block my mind to the sound of my métier partner singing. For once, she's practicing as evening rolls in, and gaze up at the windows of the dorm building.
そろそろ頃合いだが。
From my vantage point outside, I probably hone in on the window to my bookworm buddy's room. Although I thought I could cut around in front of her yesterday, she was already too far ahead. It would have been foolish to have waited over at the school only for no one to turn up. So instead I'm lying in wait outside the dorms at the same time today to see if she'll sneak out again. I hear a footstep from behind
何
me.
をしているの？
Oh no. I've been found by the owner of that voice I'd been striving to ignore.
カブトムシを探してたんだよ。悪いか？共同生活だということを考えて、私は虫はあまり好まないの。
Home in on the oh, you mean like a missile? Oh god, okay, okay. Didn't occur to me in the moment. Alright, sorry. Takasaki's declaration that she doesn't like bugs reminds me again of Shirahane. Erika the missile. Oh, perfect. I don't really have time to be chatting with her right now, but...
そうか。見つからなくて諦めていたところだから、上々だよ。そろそろ戻った方がいい。食事の時間だ。まだ夕食にはだいぶあるでしょ？何か怪しいわね。何も怪しいことなんてないだろう。バイオリンの練習で腹が減っているんだよ。苦戦しているものね。
She sounds highly amused. She can be so snarky. The missile knows where it is at all times. Then...
その約束の第二外国語の勉強だけど、時間が空いているなら今から教えてもらえないかしら。
She goes on awkwardly.
約束？そんなことしてたか？
Yeah, you did.
エリカ、あなた。冗談だよ。そういうところもあの子に。
Like who? Ooh. Out of the corner of my eye, I spot Shirahane stepping out into the corridor.
愚痴は後で聞いてやるよ。じゃあ。
I don't have much time to get around in front of her. Ignoring Takasaki calling out to me, I spin my wheels, making a fast getaway. After hurrying ahead and lying in wait for her outside the school building, I watched Shirahane approach, following her movements from a safe distance. From outside, I watched her walk along one of the main corridors and head toward the teacher's lounge. I guess she probably hasn't received a satisfactory answer from Sister Basket about the reason Kosaka dropped out of school, which is why she's resorting to force. I suddenly feel wretched. She must be going to the teacher's lounge to search for records relating to Kosaka's departure. I feel an intense rush of jealousy when I reflect on how much she must miss her, to be driven to such foolishness. My mood darkens. I draw in a long breath and then let it out slowly, as though to expel my feelings with it. Once I've calmed down somewhat and affirmed that I'm back to my usual self, I decide to return to the dorms. As I return down the same path, I glance up toward the scarlet sky, the red striated by towering columns of cloud. They're so huge, the sight of them alone makes me feel dizzy. I can't get a handle on their scale at all. Still feeling wretched, my thoughts turn to my family, and especially to my older sister. Oh? That's probably why I don't feel any sense of surprise when I hear Shirahane's voice behind me. My gaze travels down from the red clouds and towards Shirahane's hands. I know that she's returning empty-handed.
こんなに遅くにどうしたの？
ちょいと散歩だよ。お前もどうした？うさぎのご機嫌伺いか？
学者に用があったのよ。
I'm taken aback by her honesty. I shouldn't be though.
白羽が嘘をつくのなんて想像できないものな。
She gracefully cocks her head at me as I smile to myself.
高崎もお前と同じくらいに分かりやすいとありがたいんだけどな。
高崎さん？彼女と何かあったの？
第二外国語、あいつ苦手だろ。だから教えてやる約束をしてたんだが、あることで。
I look up at Shirahane.
二度ほど保護にしたら睨みやがってさ。試験だってまだ先だろうに。別段急ぐこともないってのにな。
そういうこと。
Yeah, but I think she doesn't care much about, or like, not that she doesn't care, but her worry is not the exam, it's just she wants to make progress, right?
何がそういうことなんだよ。
Shirahane smiles softly in the light of the setting sun.
高崎さんはね、拗ねているのよ。
拗ねる？何に対してだ？約束を破ったことにか？
それもあるだろうけど、勉強を教えてもらえないということが原因じゃないわ。八重垣さんと一緒に過ごすことができなかったせいよ。
Cute.
そんな少女みたいな理由で。
Wanna bet? As soon as I've said it, I realize that, well, we are still teenagers. However,
反抗期真っ盛りのガキじゃないんだぞ。
a kid.
きっと仲のいいお友達と遊ぶ約束をしていたのに、その友達は約束に重きを置いてくれていなかったということに拗ねているのよ。
Is that really how Takasaki sees it? I think of her haughty, aloof gaze.
ちゃんと約束は守ってあげないと。お友達でしょ？
I balk at the word friends.
私の友人は本だけだよ。
Despite my sharp retort, as I gaze up at the scarlet-tipped clouds, I find myself feeling just a little bit curious about how Takasaki sees me.
白羽さんと一緒にいたの？
Her tone is ice cold. She's sitting at her desk with her textbook open. She doesn't even glance at me when I come in. Her back may be turned, but I can tell she's irritated. After finishing up my somewhat awkward conversation with Shirahane, I'd watched the sky darken from scarlet to deep purple before heading back to my room.
密会してするおしゃべりは随分と楽しいのでしょうね。
I want to check with my bookworm buddy if this even icier tone seriously still means she's just sulking.
ちょいと図書室へ本を借りに行ってただけさ。お前は試験勉強中ってか？
誰かさんが教えてくれないから一人でね。図書室に行ったにしては本借りてきてないじゃない。
Oh, she's on the attack.
借りようとした本が貸し出し中だったのさ。なんだよ。そんなに教えてほしかったのか？
I glance at her notebook, which is open on the table. Looks like she's been taking notes.
書き取りなら私が教える必要はなさそうだな。
I pick up the notebook with a smile, but she snatches it back from me, her face a mask.
発音を教えてほしいのよ。
She mutters this almost unintelligibly, her face downturned.
お？
For a moment, I'm not quite sure what she said.
もういいわ。
She answers curtly.
面倒なやつだな、お前は。
I'll lend you my notes. Open up to me. Oh, this sounds appetizing, although I don't know where they're gonna take it. This is the one, yeah. Okay. Thinking back to what Shirahane said about her sulking, I go and sit down opposite Takasaki.
わかった。腹を割って話そう。
Maybe sitting down is an unfortunate translation because I can't imagine. She just like goes next to her, right? Or like in front of her or something, right? Okay.
は？何を言ってるの？
何か思うところがあるんだろ。話してみろよ。
あのね。
そうだ。話しづらいなら委員長から紅茶セットを借りてくるとしようか。ロシアンティーでも入れてやるよ。
ちょっと。
あとはそうだな。カントリーミュージックでもかけて。
What?
わかったわ。エリカは茶化してるのね。
Chidori's face is so cute. Oh, I can't. I laugh before congratulating her on finally having caught on. She glares at me haughtily. Though now I know it's just a look of exasperation she's giving me. I don't know why country music.
相手にしているのがバカバカしくなるわね。
I think it was meant to be just part of the nonsense. Her tone is sharp, but I can spot the smile breaking through her mask, which draws out my feline smile in return.
それじゃあ私もバイオリンの試験勉強をしましょうかね。
I fetch my borrowed violin and take up position just as Takasaki taught me.
ちょっと集中できないでしょ？
BGM 代わりだよ。耳に優しい音楽が流れていた方がお前もやりやすいだろ。
環境のことを考えてくれるならベッドから床にこぼれ落ちている本を何とかして。
神経質なやつだな。不潔で死んだやつはいないぞ。
私がホコリアレルギーだったらどうするの？
She answers me flatly. I set my violin down on the desk and make my way over to the bed. Country music? Are you the devil, Eric? Why? Do you dislike country music?
白羽の推理も外れることがあるんだな。
With a resigned sigh, I start to tidy up my books. Now that the various exams that had been looming over us are finished with— oh, okay, so there was like a time skip. A significant time skip, because Erika was saying that the exams were far away when she was talking with Suo. Okay. I am able to face the tea party with a weight off my mind. The president had said we'd have a party after exams were over, but it had been easy to hear the implied "provided they all go well." If we fail an exam, then we're required to take supplementary lessons every Sunday without exception until we pass. No one would feel like attending a tea party with that dark cloud hanging over them. which is why it all depended on things turning out okay.
なんとかバイオリンの試験パスできたみたいですね。
まあな。正直、課題曲のガボットを弾くのは相当苦労したぜ。ま、もどきだけどな。
ガボット。聞いたことない曲ですね。
ゴセック作曲のバイオリン曲なんだが、多分聞いたらあーってわかると思う。
ですか。
I look over to my media partner, the one who taught me that in the first place.
つまらなそうにしてやがるな。
Nagasaki is sipping at her tea by herself, a little removed from everyone else. Even if she doesn't usually attend the tea parties, it's still unusual for her to be this antisocial. As I think this, the elder Sasaki's sister leans into me, her shoulders slumped, and her face drained of color. Oh no. No, what's happening?
おい、来やすいぞ。
ようやく例法の試験に合格した私をねぎらってよ。ずっと繰り返しダメ出しされて泣きそうだったんだもん。
Oh wow, Ichigo.
ま、確かにあれは同情するがね。
Pat, Ichigo. Neither the etiquette nor the music exam was a one-chance only sort of deal. We could restart as many times as we needed to. But even though restarting from the beginning was an option,
大昔のゲームソフトみたいだったものな。
I mutter weakly.
どういうことです？
終わりがないってことさ。私もだいぶやり直しをさせられたからな。
I let out a little sigh as I remember the pressure of performing the gabot in front of Sister Basket. Ichigo pilfers her sister's donut and bites into it like it's the most delicious thing in the world. Food again.
糖分が脳に行き渡る。
Yeah.
合格祝いということで許しますよ。でも意外ですね。八重垣ちゃんはゲームとかやらない人だと思ってました。
Probably because of the way I've talked about them before. I mean, I'm not sure I'd call myself a gamer, but...
ま、たしなむくらいはやったかな。
Aww.
姉が割と好きで、その兼ね合いでね。
Sisterly time memories, nice.
お姉さんがいたのですね。でも羨ましいですよ。
何が？
Ringo leans forward and sticks her finger into the middle of the donut on her sister's plate. Before hooking it up and stuffing it into her tiny mouth.
私としてはゲームをやってみたかったんですけどね。おばあ様が許してくれなかったのですよ。
Erika the toxic gamer. Oh no, what have I created? I can't imagine
お前の
that.
家、いいところっぽいものな。
そうそう。人を殺したりするゲームとか良くないって許してくれなかったよね。
Looking at the elder Sasaki twin, her cheeks stuffed with donut, I can't help but laugh as I recall my own elder sister's arguments with our mother.
どうしたの？
いや、同じことを姉も言われてたなと思ってさ。だけど、そっちの祖母と同じことを言った母に姉は、絶対にそんなことないわよって言ったんだ。
Ichigo playing GTA. Oh god. I don't want to imagine that.
でもそんな一言じゃ聞いてくれなくない？
ああ、だから続けて。私、男の子を攻略していくゲームをたくさんしたけど、一度も彼氏できたことないの。って言ってさ。
Ah, that's a good argument actually. My sister had declared how that proved there was no relation between the two. I chuckle as I recall how wide my mom's eyes had gotten, and the Sasaki twins giggle too.
なんだか楽しそうね。
身内の恥ずかしい話を披露したところだよ。委員長は試験は
なんとか合格したわ。
She answers modestly.
アミティエの高崎さんも第二外国語合格したようだしよかったわね。
あいつにも取り柄がある。 見た目よりも頭がいい。
Hehe.
それって初めはダメだって思って。
Oh, sorry, I scrolled too fast. Sorry. She responds cynically. I gaze at my Amitia partner who's still sipping on her iced tea in stony silence.
一応羽を伸ばしに来たってことかね。
ああ、そうそう。羽を伸ばすで思い出したけど、スオさんがみんなへ提案があるそうなの。
The president beckons to her and Shirahane gracefully gets to her feet.
以前コミカド先輩から秘密の泉の場所を教えてもらったことがあるの。今度の安息日にそこへ行くというのはどうかしら。
Ooh. Shirahane makes her suggestion and my classmates all agree that it sounds like fun.
水遊びですか。楽しそうですね。ねえ、八重垣ちゃんも行くでしょ？
If you wear a skimpy swimsuit, why would I go when I can't swim? Well, I think this one is too dismissive, so likely this is the one. Yeah. A skimpy swimsuit. In reply to the excited twin, I say,
それじゃあ際どい水着を着てくるなら言ってやるよ。目の保養だ。
水着か。
Red blotches blossom across her cheeks, but then her expression quickly becomes troubled.
仲良くなるためには同じ釜で食べ、お風呂に入った裸の付き合いって言うし。際どい。やはりセパレートのものでないとダメですよね。
おい、冗談だぞ。
They both look up at me simultaneously.
委員長のような本格派じゃないんだ。同性の水着なんか見ても仕方ないだろうが。
I tell them I'll pass on this one, but then
いいじゃない。
I hear a cool voice behind me.
水遊び、私も参加したいわ。
お前絶対こういうの好きなタイプじゃないだろうが。
私の何を知っているっていうの？
The president, the Sasakis, and everyone else is staring at my Amitia partner in astonishment. I'm in the same boat as them. What is she thinking?
アミティが参加するのだもの。エリカも参加するわよ。ね
え。いや、泳げないし無駄じゃ。
雰囲気だけでも楽しめるでしょ。いつも文句を言わず解除してくれる私をねぎらいなさい。
It's a very firm argument, and I'm about to answer it when
恩知らずにはなりたくないだったわよね。
she delivers her finishing blow. All I can do is nod. Lies. Not all of our classmates take part in the excursion to the lake. The timing of it overlaps with our summer vacation. We're granted just a few days to visit home. Because of the short time frame, those students who live far from the academy have remained at the dorms, while the other half of the class have returned home. And of the half staying behind, it's only the few who think splashing around in the lake sounds like fun who have sneaked out.
なんだか楽しくなさそうね。
お茶会での経緯を知ってるだろうが。
I grumble to the president who's pushing my wheelchair.
こんなに暑い中、延々と森の中を行きたくないって話だよ。
だから私が推しているでしょ。
それでも暑いのは変わらないだろうが。お前は家に帰らなくてよかったのかよ。
私は家が遠いから戻ってもほとんど休めないし、それにみんなで水遊びって素敵じゃない？
そうかね。私は寮でゴロゴロしてたかったよ。とある漫画家本体も大物は寸暇を惜しんで寝るものだって言ってたしな。
I mean, that's also because they're kind of working themselves to the bone, no? The prez laughs. I guess she thinks I'm joking. She takes a second to check that there's no one getting too far ahead of the group or lagging behind.
でも
みんな参加してくれてよかったわ。
ま、女は縦じゃなくて横のつながりだからな。
I kind of stand outside all of that myself, but I suppose I had been scared of being left out. Also,
お前らも参加してることは驚きだけどな。
何が驚きなのですか？そうだよ、遊びに行くって言ったじゃん。
the elder Sasaki sister declares that she'll take over pushing my wheelchair and takes the handlebars from the president. She starts pushing at a faster pace, and the chair jolts as she mows straight over any pebbles in our path. Her personality shines through even in this.
お前らは家に戻ると思っていたよ。
初めはそのつもりだったけど、みんなと一緒の夏はあと2回しか巡らないと思うともったいない気がしたのですよ。
Oh, that's so cute. Just 2 more summers, huh? Aww. Takasaki and Shirahane are walking about 5 paces behind us. From time to time, Shirahane says something to my Mitiya partner who looks extremely grumpy.
春頃には考えられない光景だよな。
The unlikely, no, nigh on unimaginable sight of my introverted bookworm buddy taking the lead in talking to someone. She's come a long way. Shirahane. She's had to endure a lot of pain, but perhaps that was necessary to help her grow as a person. Grow?
らしくない考えを巡らすところだったぜ。
I ignored the Sasaki sisters' bewildered looks and turned back towards Takasaki.
機嫌悪そうだな。
I call out to her loudly.
面倒なら戻ってバレエの自主練でもしてたらどうだ？
楽しみにしていると言ったでしょ。
Even though she hasn't raised her voice, her tone is, rapier sharp.
なんで家に戻らないかね。
I guess she has her reasons, same as me. I look at her, her eyes narrowed into what seems like a glare, and sigh to myself. We arrive at Shirahane's secret pool. Oh, that looks lovely.
思ったよりもいいところじゃないか。
The greenery is lush and verdant, and though the summer sun is still beating down hard, the pool looks shallow and perfect for swimming. There's also a boat moored to a little jetty.
もしかして秘密のデートスポットだったりしてな。
Komikado senpai had billed it as a secret natural pool. Perhaps that's the reason it's kept secret. I wipe away my sweat and quickly make my way across to the shade of a tree. A sigh of relief escapes my lips as I enter the tree's shadow. Cool air caresses my neck. Despite the heat, it's not too humid. The area is a popular summer resort with people looking to escape the sun, and if you can find some shade, it's really quite pleasant. I'm starting to relax when
着替えないの？
someone addresses me from behind. I turn around. I accidentally let out a weird garbled noise.
何？どうしたの？
いや、まさか下着姿とは思わなかった。大胆だな、おい。
八重垣ちゃんが野獣のような目で見てる。
Wolfish look, what? Ha, a dating spot. That's your first thought, Erika. What's that about not being all that interested in girls again? Mm-hmm, indeed. Also, that looks nothing like the underwear they were wearing for that medical exam thing, so... I don't know, it's not that revealing. Maybe it's actually fitting for this purpose, I don't know.
やはり八重垣ちゃんは選ばれし人間だったのですね。
A girl of particular tastes.
誰が委員長と同類だって。
I regard the twins warily. They're both wearing the standard school issue underwear. Ah, that's school issued, what? Putting aside the completely unsexy culotte. God.
お前らを見ると落ち着くな。
So what, you were looking forward to seeing the sexy version of it? Like, I don't get it. Hey Javelin, did I pop in on time for a date? Well, more or less. They're spending some time at the lake, but in a group. It's not a date. Dahlia called any improper underwear after the spring incident. Oh, wow. Okay, so the school even imposes what underwear they have to wear. Okay. Okay then. False information. Okay. Mom, can we have the twins wear skimpy swimsuit? We have the skimpy swimsuit at home. Alright.
なぜか腹立たしさを感じる視線ですね。そんなに生温かい目で胸を見られたら嫌でも気づくって。
Confirming that their little houses on the prairie aren't so different to mine, I nod in satisfaction.
もう着替え終わったの。早いわね。
Prez says, approaching us. She's fine. In fact, she's in the same boat as us. However,
気持ちのいい風が吹くわね。
when I see my bookworm buddy strolling towards us with the president, I feel the pain of the have-nots versus the haves.
同じ年でこんなに違うもんかね。
え？どうしたの？
Shirahane bends over like she's talking to a child, giving me an eyeful of her frustratingly mountainous her frustratingly mountainous twin peaks. Okay. Glad we settled that. Both of my sisters and my mother are very slender. It runs in the family. I know there's nothing I can do about it, but I can't stop a black hole of jealousy from gaping open within me at that sight.
どうしたの、八重垣さん。何か心配事でもあるの？
Yes, actually there is, it seems.
自分の将来に。
Erika getting bazookaed. Ay.
女は14歳くらいで成長が止まるって言うけど、あれは上背だけだよな。
何があったの？ずいぶん暗い顔をしているけど。何か将来に関わることで悩みがあるそうなの。
It's so precious just how clueless Suo is. And how even if she tried to sit down and imagine what exactly is Erika upset about, she would never ever think of this because she's too pure.
そう。ねえ、八重垣さん。
She takes hold of my shoulder and gives me a firm shake, and I come out of my reverie to find Prez's face looming in on mine.
将来のことに思いを馳せるのは素晴らしいことだけど、気にしすぎるのはダメよ。何事も中庸がいいのよ。
同類のお前に言われたかないよ。
Ay, Erika. Poor Erika. She has no idea what happened. She actually wanted to give her some proper advice from the heart and wanted to be helpful. Seeing the president blink at me in confusion brings me back to my senses, and I apologize. I'd taken her comments rather differently.
八重垣さんは着替えないの？
There's no point if I can't swim. Undress me! Please no. Oh my god, that's the one. Poor Erika gets so many strays from Erika. She does, doesn't she? Oh gosh. Undress me. What the fuck? I suddenly have the sadistic urge to put my bookworm buddy on the spot after she forced those envy-inducing twin peaks into my field of vision.
それじゃあ、脱がせてくれよ。
脱がせ。
そうだ。お前の手で脱がしてくれってことだよ。解除だ。できるだろ？
I lift my arms up encouragingly. Her cheeks flush scarlet and she practically stumbles backwards.
どうした？ほら早く。
Oh god, Erika.
そんなこと恥ずかしいわ。
解除だって何も恥ずかしがることなんてないなあ。
I look to her for support and she nods, her face bright red. I lower my arms.
冗談だって。気が向いたら自分でするさ。
I turn my feline smile on her, leaving her baffled. Poor Suo. Suo can't even bathe with her people. This is too much for her little gay heart. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah. Alright, we have a perspective change. That's cute. The shadows of the leaves sway across the ground. Big shadows and small shadows. Deep shadows and soft shadows. So many different shadows, all moving individually. Faced with the sudden visual overload, I narrow my eyes. The sunlight flittering through the canopy above paints strange patterns on the ground. I stare down at my feet, wondering if this is what true art is. The way they swirl and distort makes me feel ill. I'd be happy just knowing which is the real deal, the natural or the man-made. Why did I come here? Because I gaze at my amitié partner in the distance, surrounded by our classmates. Because of my amitié partner who reminds me so much of that girl. I started calling her Erika because of that resemblance too. Ooh, who's she talking about? Just what is it about them that I find similar? They're total opposites in terms of personality. It's not as though they look alike either. The wind tousles my hair, and the branches of the trees are thrown into disarray. The shadows grow and shrink, but turns getting darker and lighter. Getting darker and lighter. The scene before me contorts like it's closing in on me, and I shut my eyes. For some reason, I can hear my old ballet teacher's voice echoing in my head. My hands go limp and my notebook slips from my grasp. I pick it up from where it drops at my feet and flip through it. Without it, I wouldn't be able to tell what I like and don't like. All those times I faked illness, hoping my parents would pay me some attention. Even the ballet was an attempt to get them to turn and look at me. Who am I? The smell of the grass, the scent of the water, the swirling patterns underfoot. Enclosed by the swaying shadows, I feel terribly light. Ignoring the hollow feeling in my chest, I turn the pages until I come across words I didn't write and stare at them in bewilderment. Notes on Italian, our second language, are scribbled on the page. I turn to the next page and find written in a neat hand notes on areas that might come up on the test and the correct answers to questions that are easy to get wrong. They are all explained in a clear, legible fashion.
Erika.
Nauseous from the undulations of the leaves, I finally become aware. Aware of the feelings for Erika that burn inside me. Feelings quite unlike the childish emotions I direct towards my parents, or the dependence I felt for her. Ooh, okay. I enjoy the way the text changes for these perspective changes, though in my game there was a glitch that caused the text overlap. Oh no, that's too bad. But yeah, this is really nice to see a little bit more inside what the other characters are thinking and feeling. For the girl who idolized me unconditionally. Who is that girl? What happened? Oh my gosh. A friend of mine on Twitter theorized I got haunted by one of the 7 mysteries. What? How so? I like watching monster movies from time to time. Really, Erika? interesting.
私はゴジラ対モスラが好き。
Oh.
わかってるな。姉はリバイバル版の方がいいって。
I like Erika's I can do it myself if I feel like it. Yeah, that if is very important.
え
Shirahane pulls a face like she's just bitten down on a lemon, and the uncharacteristic expression makes me laugh.
だよな。
The president then taps her on the shoulder and leads her into the shade of a tree a short distance away.
なんだよ。乙女の語らいを邪魔する気か？
乙女のする会話じゃないでしょ。
I'm not sure I have an answer to that. I watch for a while as she speaks in a low voice with Shirahane.
仲直りをした方が。
そうね。私、賛成。
After they've exchanged a few words, Shirahane glances in my direction and departs. The president comes back to join me in her place.
お話ししましょう。
The way she says that sounds highly suspicious.
心を閉ざしたサナトリウムの少女じゃないんだぞ。
そんなつもりはないわ。ただ、最近、八重垣さんとお話ししていないなって。
試験勉強があったからな。ブレインとしては試験落とせないものな。
脳がどうしたの？
My comment was naturally based on my understanding of the class's hierarchy, but the president just blinks at me, obviously unaware of our positions in it. I let slip a small sigh of resignation and cast around for another topic.
怪獣映画だが、委員長が好きなやつは？
怪獣？何？
いや、すまない。無理を言うところだったよ。
The president tilts her head at me, her braids trembling.
なんだって。
I feel a tap on my shoulder and let out a strange squeak when I see my Amitia partner, who has, at some point, gotten changed. No, undressed. She's standing there in her underwear.
水遊びしたいのよね。
あ？何を言って。
したいのでしょ？
She looms over me. The scent of peaches is overwhelming. Ooh! She moves closer, though she's not considerate enough to crouch down to talk to me like Shirahane does. It's like she... wait, she thinks or doesn't think there's any hierarchy there, Erika? I don't really understand the hierarchy thing. It's kind of like passed over my head. I don't know what it meant. Her cleavage, even more ample than my bookworm buddies, fills my vision. I flush all over at the sight.
近いんだよ、お前は。
I shout, trying to cover up my blushes, but she pays me no heed. She quickly moves behind me and motions for me to put my hands up. Yeah, no worries, no worries.
ああ、西部劇ごっこか。お前、年いくつだと。
Oh, man. Yeah, those are the two most intense sensations the novel gives, that's true.
同い年でしょ？
But there's also cuteness. There's also a lot of cuteness, so... She forces my arms up, just as she does when she's assisting me. Yeah. With everyone else watching from the sidelines, my defenses are obliterated and I must endure a total rout. My clothes are forced off, and then I find myself scooped up into her arms, only to be plonked down by the water's edge. Plonk. Oh no, that must be so annoying. Oh no. You're not having fun at all. I'm angry, but I swallow it down. Because I see the way Takasaki is gazing into the distance beside me.
何か話したいことがあるんだろうが。
Perhaps it's an overly favorable interpretation on my part, but I wonder if she's trying to apologize in her own clumsy way. The way she's knitting her brows together is very familiar, as is the way she's pursing her lips.
こいつに自分を見てるなんざ。
水遊び、楽しんでいるかしら？
かなり強引に誘われはしたが、 まあ楽しんでいるよ。
そう。
After this brief exchange, we fall silent again. It feels weird having my feet immersed in the water like this. It could be a scene out of a horror movie or a romance novel. But this is the first time I've had my feet in warm water outside of the bath. It's actually really uplifting as well as being kind of ticklish.
これだけ水温が高いなら泳いでも気分良さそうだな。
泳ぐ？
言っただけだ。足がつかない場所で水に浸かるなんざゾッとしないぞ。
Takasaki makes to stand up and I hold her back. She complies with me so obediently that I can't help but smirk. If I were to tell her to get naked right now, I wonder if she might not do it. Oh god, what are these thoughts? She stares solemnly down at the surface of the water, watching as it glitters in the sunlight.
お前は
The light reflecting off the water plays against her face, and I find myself staring spellbound at her handsome features.
お前は黙っていた方が可愛いな。
そう。
Usually she'd come back with something sarcastic or flare up at me, but this time she just continues staring at the water. It's kind of disconcerting. I feel like I should start a conversation and consider talking about the weather today, or fashion, or launching into a comedic anecdote.
そういえば少し前のことだけどな。小腹が減ったんで厨房へ食料を失敬しに行ったんだよ。
I settle on the anecdote.
いつもは調理人に分けてもらうんだが、その時は誰もいなかったんだ。だから冷蔵庫を開けて何か食べられるものはないか探っ。
She doesn't respond but appears to be listening.
で、冷蔵庫の中を漁ってたら、ステンレスのボウルにみじん切りした玉ねぎがラップされて置かれてあってさ、そのラップの上にメモが置かれてあったんだよ。もうお前を泣かせたりはしないってさ。冗談に気づいて大笑いしちまったよ。
Someone must have felt bad for the cook who prepares our dinners every night and cut up the onion for her. That's so cute. I go on to tell her how my outburst of laughter had led to the dorm mother discovering me and how I'd then gotten a giant scolding. However,
反応なし。
the Sasaki sisters are always interrupting my conversations, and Yatsushiro-senpai has an uncanny habit of popping up unexpectedly. But where are they when I need them? Yeah, she's cute.
風が出てきたわね。
そうだな。
Takasaki finally speaks, but I can't think of anything to say to her in return.
白羽の口下手が映っちまったか。
I think of my bookworm buddy, and how hard she worked to make friends despite finding it such a struggle. And it strikes me now how impressive an endeavor that was. I'm not capable of the same.
何？
いや、
I remember how, at the end of the case of the disappearing bunnies, when I'd announced who the real culprit was, I'd said you couldn't perform a handshake with just one hand, and had held my own hand out, sorry.
どうにも遠く感じるな。
I muttered to myself, then, copying Takasaki, I too glared down at the annoyingly sparkly water. Why is it annoying? It sounds really nice and refreshing. Ay. Looks like a fail. Huh? What? Although I can hear what they're saying from this distance, I can read it from the movement of their lips and the expressions on their faces. I push my hair over... my chair. I push my chair over to the president, twirling her braids around with a deeply troubled look and my frowning bookworm buddy. What happened? I'm tempted to put this to my bookworm buddy, who's obviously treating this like some sort of therapy session. However...
高崎さん、少しいいかしら。
I can't tell her to just drop it when out of the goodness of her heart she's come up with a second makeup plan for us. Instead I speak to the prince, who's playing with her braids awkwardly.
なんで人のためにあんなに一生懸命になれるのかね。白羽だよ。 別にあいつと私の仲違いなんていつものことだろう。放っておいても時が解決する。
She mutters her agreement, but then affectionately watching the two of them talking over by the boat, she continues.
きっと理由なんてものはないんだと思う。
ただのおせっかいってことか。
ええ、スオさんは自分を捨てて他人を心配できる人なの。私もそれで救われた。
She smiles broadly, and I find that I can't say anything in response. I think the same goes for me. However,
人と人との間に線を引く私には耳が痛い話だな。
I just think that Erika is projecting a little here due to still being a bit of a loner at this point. Erika is not the kind of person who would agree that there's any hierarchy in the class or enforce it, especially due to her past. Yeah. I do agree with that. So that's why the hierarchy thing kind of, I didn't really know what to make of it, so I kind of brushed over it because, okay. Yeah. I don't sense it personally. I look over at the Sasaki sisters, who at some point managed to draw closer to me, and Hanabishi, who's always trying to help me out. As well as Shirahane and Takasaki, who are now walking this way.
なんで得意げな顔なんだよ。
白羽さんはいい人だわ。
She says this with such a composed expression I almost want to burst out laughing. Shirahane also blinks in surprise at her frank words.
提案があるのだけど。
Oh, what is that?
言ってみろ。
She raises her hand like Lincoln delivering the Declaration of Independence and points to the boat moored by the shore.
ボート遊びがしたいわ。
すればいいだろ。
She is. She's a cutie.
エリカも一緒によ。
Of course. We saw it in the opening. It has to happen. The words are delivered as sharply and directly as a katana being drawn, and all I can do is nod. There it is. I immediately take issue with this casual revelation of the truth, as my métier partner lies back and stares up at the blue sky. That's so cute.
お前、仕事で何回か経験があるから任せてって言っただろうが。
嘘よ。初めて乗るなんて言ったらついてこないでしょ。
I hope they've managed to come back though. Yeah, no shit. I glare at her out of the corner of my eye. She flashes me a rare smile in return.
湖の真ん中で妙な笑顔を向けるな。
I'm torn between being impressed. Erika knows the Declaration of Independence, and a little amused she mixed up her speeches. Lincoln was the Gettysburg Address. Oh! Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Absolutely, Lincoln came much later than the Independence War, right? Yeah, of course.
大丈夫よ。突き落として見殺しになんかしないわ。
That's where the game ends, actually. With them in the boat. Oh gosh. Not planning on pushing you overboard. Hopefully not. She doesn't usually make jokes, and this sends a little chill up my spine. Rest in boat. I remembered that popular ghost story about a young couple whose child drowns in a boating accident. They have another child, and one day, when they're boating again, it turns to them and says, "Don't drop me this time." Oh my god! Oh god! Oh, the chill. Okay. Oh, okay. I literally got chills up my spine. No, no, thank you. Okay. Oof. Let's move on. I promoted this boat to a ship. Yes, yes. Perfect there. Oh no, no Mineko flashbacks. Well, chat, no. This is gonna be wholesome. There's gonna be nothing like that. 2-sentence horror. Oh yes, absolutely. Holy heck. Oof. Even at the best of times, I'm not good with huge mountains I can't see past, or deep seas where I can't make out the bottom. Oh. So who is the child ID card? None of them. Neither of them. No, no, no. It doesn't apply. It's nothing. It's not real. Of course, the same goes for a deep, dark lake like this. Takasaki smiles, perhaps having sensed my unease. Yeah, I would feel unease at that as well, because I can't swim and I'm kind of like not really good with being inside bodies of water. And but the whole thing with the mountains I don't have an issue with at all. That's interesting. I've never heard of it, but I can see how that could affect someone. Probably the one who can't swim. Oh gosh.
この湖を深い緑色の湖面を見て思い出したことがあるの。スティーブン・キングの映画よ。
Oh god. Oh no.
クリープショーの殺人イカダだろ。こういうタイミングで思い出すんじゃねえよ。
It's a film about some teens under attack from a mysterious killer algae. It seems she's been brushing up on her 80s pop culture like I told her to. But it's an unwelcome reference given our current situation. Yes, very unwelcome. In the short movie, there's a scene with someone sprawled out sunbathing on a raft, just like we are right now. I look over at Takasaki, who's still smiling creepily.
行きたいって騒いでいた水遊びだ。堪能できたかい？
I changed the subject.
泳ぎはしなかったけど、森林浴ができて満足しているわ。
この暑いのに森林浴もないもんだ。泳ぎはしなかったって。映画を思い出して臆病風にでも吹かれたのかい？
She doesn't respond to my taunt and instead glances down at her chest.
自慢かよ。
ああ、そうじゃないわ。泳いでないって言葉で思い出したのよ。胸、また大きくなってないかって。
へえ、そいつは宣戦布告としてみなしていいってことだな。
何を言っているの？バレエでは邪魔だから、これ以上はいらないって話よ。
見栄えが悪くなるってやつか。
No, it would probably be very uncomfortable. This is one thing that really, like, bothers me. It's starting to bother me a little bit, the whole reference of, like, being envious of large breasts. They aren't that fun to have, especially when you're into sports or any kinds of physical activities. They can become a bother. So, it's not necessarily something to be entirely jealous of. Like, you have it easy. I have it easy too, so that is my stance on that topic. There are a few moments like that in the first chapter as well. I like how they let me see Erika as an even more human character rather than an infallible hero. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I recall some info I'd learned from my eldest sister.
胸が大きすぎると晒しを巻いたりするって聞くものな。
ええ、まだそこまでではないけど気をつけているの。それと肌を焼かないようにね。
She rubs her upper arm as she says this. She must have applied sunscreen earlier.
もともと色黒だった場合も、衣装で開いている胸元とか二の腕とかを化粧で白くしてごまかすとかも聞いたことがあるな。だがお前は。
When I tell her it doesn't look like she needs it, I think I see her smile. It could just be my imagination, though. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
ま、水遊びよりこういう場所に来たなら、キャンプの方に触手が動くね。以前やった収穫祭みたいにバーベキューなんかもいい。
Ay, more food.
キャンプ。私も一度くらいなら経験してみたいわ。
お前はキャンパーというよりグランパーってな具合になりそうだな。
What the fuck is that? What? Erika become human. Good one. Good one. She asks me what glamping is and I respond.
キャンパーもどきのことだよ。Wi-Fi を使って自然と親しむってやからのことさ。何しに来たんだおい。てな具合でね。
Uh-huh.
必ず軽口を言うのよね。
Her gaze isn't exactly irritated, sorry. But it's definitely reproving. I shrug and I fall silent. The sky is a bright shade of blue. Every so often, a lone cloud drifts by. The only sounds are the warbling of the birds from the shore and the soft creak of the boat as it rocks in the water. Until...
ノート。
あ？
私のノート。勝手に書いたでしょ。
It's always weird when characters are a walking encyclopedia. Hey, Plato. It might or might not. I mean, if it's a topic that interests them, I would be okay with them having a bunch of knowledge and stuff. Her tone is a mix of discomfort, anger, and confusion. I nod even as I regret my out-of-character actions.
勝手に私物に触っちまったの。すまない。
いいのよ。怒っているわけじゃないの。
I think it was cute. There's nothing I can say to that. I'm the one who told her not to touch the books on my shelf when we first started sharing a room. Takasaki glares up at the clouds for a moment, then turns her face to me, as though she's finding the silence awkward. Her eyes bore into me. Her face is flushed red to the tips of her ears. She opens her mouth nervously.
今まで意固地になっていてごめんなさい。それと、ありがとう。何よ。
いや。
Usually this is when I'd start thinking over things like how Shirahane's deductions are always on the mark, or how she must have some kind of ulterior motive.
気にしてないさ。
She so easily crossed every line I draw between myself and other people, and my mind isn't functioning properly. Ooh. Yes, it's really beautiful. We can give it a moment. It looks very peaceful. That's what I get out of it. Peace and serenity.
よかった。今日ここへ来たのはそれだけ言いたかったの。
I'm envious of her ability to be so forthright. It's not something I'm capable of. Or am I? It was a cute reversal when Chidori was teaching the supposed know-all Erika how to care for bunnies. Yeah, that was cute.
私も約束破っちまって悪かったな。
But also it's cute anytime she tries to do because she is so into it, right? Like with the bunnies, she didn't have any knowledge, but she brought the book. She's like, I have the book, let's go. And with the violin as well earlier. It's very cute because you can tell just how much she wants Erika to learn those things properly. And she wants to take care of her in some way. So that's nice. Yeah.
今謝って。
私が謝ったなんて誰にも言うなよ。
I grind out the words, but for some reason she smiles happily at them. It's not a sight I see too often, and I find myself entranced by it. Despite the fact that she's built walls around herself to keep others out. Just like me, here she now is flashing, here she now is flashing me this totally unguarded, girlish smile. She's very into caring about Erika. Yeah, she's been like that from the get-go. Yeah.
歌が聞きたい。
Okay. Let's go. I'm crossing a line of my own here. I know that.
いいわ。
Okay. She does as I ask. No sarcastic comments, no cool retort.
ねえ、
夢でまた会えますようにそっと願う花膨らむつぼみ胸に抱いた初めてのこと揺れる微熱
いい曲だな千鳥。
Oh, so cute. Right, so the text was oh, it doesn't say here. Something about that song that I once found so sad. Yeah. Ah, okay. Wait. No, it is here. That song which I once found so sad, and this was the translation for her line, which didn't appear on screen. It's a lovely song. Yes, it is. So that song now shines brightly into the core of my being, like the rays of the summer sun. Because it's beautiful and it's touching you on like your emotional chords. Yeah, pulling at the heartstrings. Yes. Very nice. Oh, another fairy tale, right? I'm scared.
グリム童話に惚れおばさんと呼ばれる一編がある。とある家に醜く怠け者の娘、そして美しく働き者のママ子がおり、親は実の娘を可愛がり、ママ子には辛く当たっていた。ある日ママ子は井戸で糸巻きを洗っていたが、うっかり落としてしまう。母に告げるも取ってくるように命じられ、途方に暮れてしまった。思い余ったママ子は井戸に身を投げ、そのまま気を失ってしまう。ふと気がつくと、ママ子は美しい草原に立ち、歩み行くと一軒の家にたどり着く。そこは惚れおばさんと呼ばれる者の家であった。初めて人として扱われ、幸せに奉公をする。しかし家が恋しくなったママ子はそのことを惚れおばさんに告げると、ママ子が落とした糸巻きを返し、奉公した褒美として黄金を身にまとわせ、ママ子を家へと戻させたのだ。大金持ちになったママ子に嫉妬し、実の娘に同じことをするよう黄金を褒美として持ってこさせようとするも、もともと怠け者気質の娘が奉公できるわけもなく、罰として一生取れることのないコールタールまみれにされ、家に帰されてしまう。物語は分かりやすい偶話。正直者はいつか報われるという帰結だ。しかしこの世の常として正直者が報われるという保証はない。どれほどまっとうに生きていても、他人を気遣える優しさを持つ者でも、報われることのない望みというものは存在する。これから始まる物語は、正直者として生きた対価を得ようともがく道家たちのお話。
Well, that was depressing yet again. The air is hot and the sun beats down mercilessly. Despite it being the end of August, the sun continues to rage as fiercely as before, as though it's determined to make us girls bare even more skin.
まんま北風と太陽だよな。
Ooh. The stink of sweat fills my nostrils to the point that I can't even taste the green tea I brought with me to fend off dehydration. The iced tea in my thermos isn't any better either. There's no real reason for me to be participating in ballet class to the point that I'm on the verge of melting. But the lesson ends and my Mitia partner comes over to me, wiping her sweat away with a towel. I hand her my flask. She's grown quite meek, and I've become a familiar figure on the sidelines since she started dragging me along.
暑いのにご苦労さんだな。見ているだけでバテちまうよ。
体調が優れないならバスキア教諭に話してこれから見学は控えるように言ってきましょうか?
You're the one who's forcing me to come. That's what I think to myself, but I grab hold of the hem of my Mitia partner's skirt to stop her as she turns to head in Sister Basket's direction.
いよいよとなったら私から言うさ。だから大丈夫だ、千鳥。
She looks at me bashfully. Ever since our time on the boat together, I've switched from calling her Takasaki to Chidori. Woo!
ずっとお前でもなんだしな。
I guess she was doing the same in the beginning, no? But out of respect for the fact that, like Sister Basket, she's taking care of me. No, it's more that just as Chidori has invited me across the boundaries she drew for herself, I've also decided to accept her. Nice. Very lewd. The lewdest thing ever. It's way beyond holding hands. Like, this is serious business.
何を言っているの?
I'm about to answer that it's nothing when I feel a soft warm sensation against my back. Conscious of her breath against the nape of my neck, I bop the girl behind me on the head.
汗まみれで抱きつくなよ。そういうのは委員長にしとけ。
Almost indirect kiss levels of lewd. Yeah, right? Right?
わかったよ。
Oh. She pulls away slowly, then wipes away the beads of sweat trailing from her brow.
同じことをしたら怒られるよ。りっちゃんは潔癖症なんだよ。
その言い方だと私が不潔症で汚れに構わない人間みたいに聞こえるぞ。
She laughs, but when she's done, her shoulders slump again in tiredness. I take my flask back from Chidori, offering it to the wilting Sasaki twin.
ありがとう。
Wilting, oh.
不潔症の飲み差しでいいならどうぞ。
She ignores my sarcastic remark and gulps the whole thing down. There goes my portion, I guess. Still, class is over now, so I don't really mind.
氷を砕いて入れてたんだ。喉越しにシャリシャリ氷が当たってすごく美味しかった。
細かい描写はやめろ。もうないってのに飲みたくなるだろうが。
それでは私のお茶をどうぞ。
The other Sasaki twin, I don't know when she arrived over here, offers me her cutely patterned flask. With no reason to refuse, I accept it and take a sip.
いつもの共食いネタか。
それが今度の肝ではないのですよ。
Oh, there it is.
八重垣ちゃんと間接キスを達成しました。
Well, then it means that Chidori and Ichigo also had an indirect kiss, right? Because they drank from the same flask.
おお、知能犯だね、リンゴ。
I return the flask to the younger Sasaki, who's blushing and acting coy, with an innuendo-laden delicious.
それなら姉の方も間接キスとやらだな。もっとも私じゃなく千鳥とだがね。
Yeah, there it is. Hey.
言われてみればそうか。
Chidori gently strokes a finger across her lips without saying a word. The girlish gesture makes the elder Sasaki blush even harder, and she fails to find any funny comeback.
そろそろシャワーでも浴びてこいよ。さっさと着替えないと注意しに。
Speak of the devil. Prez is headed over to us with an odd look on her face, and she's accompanied by Shirahane and Sister Basket, who's still in her leotard. Oh no, what's happening? Sensing the sudden change in mood, everyone else begins to track them across the room too.
皆さん集まってください。皆さんへご報告があります。
After checking that everyone is present, Sister Basket surveys the class before speaking.
皆さんも知っている通り、今度バレエの発表会があります。
She begins. Everyone immediately starts to chatter. This is certainly news to us.
静かに。それで今日は発表。
ダリア先生、バレエの発表会があるなんて聞いていません。
あら、そうだったかしら。
I love Dahlia's sassy hand on her hip. I guess, yeah. She runs a hand through her golden hair, looking confused before pulling herself together again and continuing.
ともかく1年生の皆さんはヨゼフ座にて発表会を行ってもらいます。
Ah, you had no idea? Well, you're doing it anyway. Oh, God, I hate this. Dahlia is happening. She definitely is.
1年生というと、上級生の方は発表会には出られないのですか？
全学年が出たら発表会ではなくバレエコンクールになってしまうわ。
She puts a hand to her mouth to cover her dainty smile and Shirahane nods, despite looking as consternated as she would, having spotted a wonky picture frame on the wall. I would be upset by that too. I share her doubts. Even if the seniors did take part, as long as we didn't compete with them, it would all turn out fine, wouldn't it?
発表会と聞きましたが、個人個人が踊りを披露するのですか？それとも何か一つの劇を演じるのでしょうか？
そのことをちょうどお話ししようと思っていたの。バレエ発表会は個人個人で行うものではないの。舞台を1年生みんなで作り上げるのよ。舞台の演目は眠れる森の美女です。
Okay. Upon hearing the name of Tchaikovsky's famous ballet, rather than thinking that what a great idea it is, I instead get to wondering if it's perhaps too difficult a selection for beginners. More importantly,
男役がいないしな。
yeah, well, I don't think that's an issue. You've already had ladies performing male parts. It's not like with our recitation, where it was fine for one of us to play the male role. Why wouldn't it be fine? Ah, because the male would have to do different moves that they're not maybe used to? We girls don't have the skills to lift our dancing partners into the air or carry them on our shoulders, so...
ねえ、八重垣さん、眠れる森の美女って茨姫のことかしら？
茨姫はグリム童話で、バレエの元になっているのはペロー版の方だ。ま、だいたいグリム童話の筋通りと考えていいんじゃないか？
やっぱりそうなんだ。私、裏方にしてもらえないかしら？
You'd be good in a directing role. You'd be perfect as Princess Aurora. I think she would actually be really good in a directing role, but yeah, the choice is likely this. We need to be unhinged. We all know Chidori is going to play the main role. Like, what are we doing, you know? Perhaps because of her ingrained rigidity, Shirahane has not really been improving in ballet.
オーロラ姫なんかハマるんじゃないか？
For a moment, Shirahane grimaces so tensely, she looks like she's about to cry. Oh no.
無理よ。ヨセフ座で披露することを考えたら泣き出してしまいそうになるわ。
そうか。朗読劇の時、威風堂々ってな具合だったけどね。
あれはその八重垣さんが隣にいてくれたから。
She blushes and looks up at me through her lashes, and my stomach does a funny flip-flop. You'd have to be blind not to see that this girl standing beside me possesses a beauty one rarely encounters. Even in the entertainment industry, my Amitia partner is a veteran of.
自分ってやつを少し考えてから発言した方がいいぞ。
何か気に障ることを言ってしまったかしら。天然のたらしめ。
Of course she is. She looks at me with sad puppy dog eyes, and my heart beats even faster than before. I rub at my hot cheeks with both hands and mutter that Sister Basket's looking at us.
ダリア先生、眠れる森の美女を上演するのは分かりましたけれど、配役はもう決められているのですか？
そう、今日はそのことも話そうと思っていたの。上演まで時間もあまりありませんから。
What is this? You're gonna be putting on a recital, which you had no idea that you're going to. It's very short, the time frame until then is very short. We've already decided what you're going to do, and it's a difficult piece. And about the roles, let's see, what is this?
今日から3日後に配役を決める試験を行うわ。
And we will have a test in 3 days. Great! The chatter starts again, however, this time the overall tone is one of excitement.
バレエがやりたくてこの学院に入ったやつもいるって話だし、盛り上がりはするか。
Sister Basket gracefully exits the classroom after reminding everyone not to slack off on their practice. After she's gone, the squealing starts.
ねえねえ、盛り上がってきたね。誰がオーロラ姫を演じるのか楽しみですよ。
It's not gonna be either of you two, I tell them dryly. They puff their cheeks out and tell me they don't care anyway.
私的には妖精役がやりたいんだよね。衣装も新しく作るだろうし、羽とかつけたら可愛いよね。
Yeah, they sure do. I would want to see that. Ichigo with wings.
私としても同意ですよ。
I guess they're more interested in wearing cute outfits than getting a good role. Can you blame them? The twins start chattering together about which roles are likely to have the cutest costumes.
舞台か。久しぶりで楽しみだわ。
オーロラ姫を狙うっていうものだと思ってたよ。
私は別に主役でなくても踊りがいのある役なら何でもいいの。それにオーロラ姫なら。
She glances over at Chidori, who's taking off her ballet shoes and stowing them in her personal storage bag. The twins are so real for this. Yeah, they are.
ま、確かに技量的には委員長と千鳥の一騎打ちだろうな。
八重垣ちゃんは高崎さんとりっちゃんさん、どちらが主役にふさわしいと思うですか？
Who would be better? Of course, Chidori. Yes, absolutely. Perhaps Chidori overheard the conversation as she puts down her shoe bag and stares at me, her posture oddly rigid.
答えづらいじゃないかよ。
どちらですか？
そうだな。順当に考えるなら千鳥かな。
よし。
While I wonder about the way she's clenching her fist, I explain my reasoning to Ringo. Sorry.
技量なら委員長と互角だし、どちらが演じてもいいが。
I glance at my Amitia partner who's still staring my way and lower my voice.
鉄面皮のあいつが微笑みながら姫役を演じるのを見てみたいだろ。
Wow, what a reason.
それは同意です。でも試験か。何でもいいって言ってたけど、何を踊ろうかな。私は簡単なものにするわ。間違えないことが重要だと思うの。
The younger Sasaki and the president nod in agreement with this sound thinking. Chidori, on the other hand, clearly relishes this test as a challenge.
シャワー浴びてくるわね。
Doing everything at her own pace, as always, she notifies me of her plans before leaving the classroom with her shoe bag in hand.
ま、私の分もしっかり踊ってくれよな。
A very sore response. Yeah, I would do the same. I mutter flippantly to her, retreating back. Alright. Okay, so I guess the scene is set for I guess, the big epic event at the end of the, or towards the end of this, what do we call it? Episode, volume, whatever. I think that will probably be it. But for tonight, I think I will leave it here. I'll make a save here. Yes, and I think this was a good, decent chunk and a good place to stop. I'm also getting a little bit tired, so I think it's better to. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. This is so much fun. I'm very happy that I started the novel and that I get to share it with all of you lovely people. So thank you so much for coming by and spending this time with me. I appreciate it, and it makes me smile every time. And I go to bed with the best kinds of warm, fuzzy feelings in my heart. So I appreciate you. Boat scene is one of my favorites. Yeah, that was really, really cool. Really cool. Yeah, thank you. I will rest for sure. Thank you so much. Yeah. Let's leave it here for tonight. And I will see you again Thursday with more of this. And Thursday, most likely, I will be much better than I am right now, because it's a day off for me from work. So I will be rested. I will be calm and not, mentally and a little bit physically tired. So looking forward to that. Thank you, Plato. Thank you for coming by. Take care, guys. Love you all. Night, night.